are three of the boys from Inglorious. Hi guys, how are you?
Hello.
Good, thanks.
And I say, Nathan, it's so wonderful to have the pleasure of your company for this interview this time.
I know we couldn't at Stone Deaf, because I think I had about 6 or 7 before the show, and it just would have been too much. Yeah.
Well, it's nice to speak to you today anyway, and I believe that tomorrow is a very big day for you. Because
it is.
It's
my 30th birthday again.
Again? How many 30th birthdays have you had?
This will be my 3rd 30th birthday.
Which makes you 33.
No.
Or 32. 32, got it. Yeah. So we established actually that we're all Leos. You, me, and Danny. I don't know about Dan though.
Dan's not
Dan.
Not Leo. You're not a fellow Leo then, Dan?
I'm not a Leo, no.
What are you?
I'm a Capricorn.
Capricorn. You see, we were saying before that it's the Leos that have got the big hair, lion and lioness's hair. So this kind of makes sense now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bald goat.
Well, I didn't like to say, but Right. So let's get on with this interview. You have got 3 albums out already, which have all done incredibly well. You're currently writing and recording album number 4. So lockdown has been a busy time for you.
Yeah, I think so. Just before lockdown, we were getting together every week to write.
Yeah.
At Danny's, or I went to Dan's, Phil's as well, and Vinny's actually. But the problem is, for me personally, as soon as lockdown started, I just wasn't in the mood to do anything. Like a lot of people kind of just were like so disheartened.
Yeah, I had the same thing.
Yeah, you just had no energy, no get up and go, no
motivation. Your motivation
zero.
Often doesn't come back. Yeah.
So I kind of spent a couple of weeks, like 8 weeks or so, doing absolutely nothing and just trying to focus on staying alive. And then I kind of was inspired to finish off all the lyrics before we went into the studio a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, we did get it done, but I just am so happy that we spent so much time beforehand.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We did prep this album a lot, so yeah, we're in a good place.
So is the recording all finished now? Is it kind of almost done, ready?
Danny?
Yeah, it is. We got back the final mixes the other day. We're all super happy with it. And yeah, it's amazing really to hear the songs finished, because it's been such a journey of like just a riff on a recording on your phone, like a little voice memo, to full-on demo that takes a long time to get to that stage as well, because you have to have writing sessions and people putting their ideas on and tweaking things that aren't quite right. And yeah, that's a long process. And then all of a sudden you're going from that into completing it into a proper produced track. So to actually hear the songs finished, it's almost like a big relief of like, wow, it's a super proud moment. And it's like having a child just on your phone listening to like, we made that. It's great.
And who did you have working on the album and producing it with you?
The album was produced and mixed and even mastered by Romesh Dodangova, who most famously, I think, of recent times worked on the Bring Me the Horizon album, and he got a Grammy nomination for that.
Yeah.
For Best Rock and Metal Album. So he's amazing, and he's so nice. And also, I think what people hopefully will understand is how hard it's been to live like these last few months, and while social distancing, and we had to make an album in the height of that. Wales was also 2 weeks behind the UK, so when we were there, we had to make this album like as safely as possible. So half the time in the studio, they were actually wearing face masks, and there was hand sanitizer everywhere. We weren't allowed to be in the same room at the same time. It was all very one in, one out kind of thing. So that added a bit of pressure to the actual recording, but I think it worked out. I think it worked out really well. It was such an easy process. We finished the album in 14 days. So
pretty amazing. So do you have a title release date yet?
I can't say the title yet, but the release date, it will be early next year. I think everyone at the moment is understanding that this virus is dictating all of our lives. So we need to just wait and make sure it comes out at a time when we're able to tour, because if I don't want to bring the album out and then us not be able to go.
Yeah, that'd be a bit frustrating, wouldn't it?
It just wouldn't make sense. And
well, that has happened to bands this year that have brought an album out just before COVID struck, and then have had to postpone for a whole year before they, the album will be a year old before they get to tour around it.
And then there's a backlog of artists that want to tour in these venues. A lot of these venues are going to be closing down, which is heartbreaking. So we really need to just bide our time and make sure that the album is as good as it can be. So when it does come out, it makes the splash that we want it to.
Okay. And do you have a concept behind the album? Is it going to be in a similar vein to your previous album? Right to Nowhere? Is it going to be going on slightly different?
Yeah, it is different because new people are writing it, Obviously, I think it always will sound like Inglorious because it's got my big loud voice on it, And
you can't mistake that, really.
I hope not. But as far as the writing goes, everyone has different inspirations in this band and this lineup. So Danny comes from he loves the guitarists, You love Slash, you love Yngwie, you love those great guitar players. And there's definitely elements of that. And same with Dan. Dan's favourite bands are a lot different, perhaps, to mine. Some of Dan's favourite bands are Extreme and Thin Lizzy or UFO, Schenker. It's all very. This time around, the main riffs and the cores of the songs come from different places, but they end up sounding like an Inglorious song.
Yes. Well, I think it's fair to say that you've got a lot of classic rock influences in your music. But seeing as we're doing the New Wave of Classic Rock Webfest, I would like you to name your top 5 New Wave of Classic Rock bands.
Oh, God.
Apart from yourself.
I'll try. I really, really like a band called Liberty Lies.
Yeah, I've just been speaking to Sean from Liberty Lies,
Sean is lovely, really nice guy. Really,
and I know he played on your charity cover, which we'll talk about in a minute. Yeah,
they also supported us on tour, which is how I got to know him. And I think the other boys will agree they were really nice blokes, and that's so important. It really is so nice to have guys on tour with you that are just really easy to get on with and really respectful. They're just, it's like we're thrilled to be there, So they were great guys. And I also really like, again, you're going to mention the charity cover, Howling Tides. I think he's got got a great voice.
Yes, he does.
I'm very, very picky when it comes to male singers. But I genuinely rate those two. I think they're really good singers.
I know the first time I saw Howling Tides, and I've seen them a few times now, I thought, they've got the sound, they've got the voice, they've got the full package. I absolutely love them. Right, so we've got 2 now. Got another 3?
Dan?
I mean, I would have said Howling Tides, to be honest.
Yeah.
I guess the first time I met that singer actually wasn't with the band. I met him in a guitar store. And he actually worked in a guitar store in Derby, where I grew up. Well, I didn't grow up in the store, but I grew up going to that store.
I didn't think that's what you meant.
Just in the back shed.
Under the drum kit.
Exactly. Yeah, I used to spend a lot of time there, and apparently he was working there after I'd kind of moved to London and all that stuff. And my sister went in the store and they got talking. And she was like, oh, yeah, my brother plays in this band. And they got talking through that. So I actually met him before he opened up for Inglorious. And, I just think they're such a nice bunch of guys. And, great band as well.
Okay. Anybody else like to join in, Dan?
I think I'd have to say Massive Wagons, which is...
Who are massive at the moment.
Yeah, they are doing really well. Yeah, I mean, with my old band, we played a lot of gigs with them. So it's nice to see them going from strength to strength.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're really cool guys.
Okay. Well, I wanted to talk about something we just touched on a minute ago, which was the charity cover of Imagine that Nathan produced back in May.
Yeah.
So it featured Paul Rodgers, which I understand that a lot of the other artists on the record didn't actually know that he was going to be included in it as well. So it was a nice surprise. So I want you to tell us. Sorry?
That was a very hard secret to keep, I tell you.
Yeah, I can imagine it was. Tell us why you chose to cover Imagine, which charities were involved and benefited from it, and how you went about selecting the artists to take part on the record.
The inspiration behind doing that song was, I don't know if anyone saw it, but some Hollywood A-listers done a horrendous cover of it and absolutely murdered it. It was, it needed resuscitating after they'd sung it. It was terrible. So I thought, look, we can't have that being the only cover of that on the internet. It's dreadful. So, I decided to call some mates up. Obviously, the band first. The band played on it all. And I just went through my phone book, really, of people that I thought, God, whose voice would suit this? Who can I get on it that would also be interested in doing it? Because I hope it translated, but the point of me doing it was not to try and make loads of money for charities. It was to raise awareness for charities, because at the minute there's a lot of people out there who are struggling financially, and I think it's a little bit cheeky to try and ask for money from people. Do you know what I mean? I didn't feel comfortable with asking for money, especially
in the current climate with people being furloughed and jobs being uncertain.
I didn't want people to feel guilty if they couldn't afford the £3 for the download, you know. So I think it's nice that, I put it together. It's free to enjoy. Anyone can do it. And also, it's had about 60,000 views or something. And in the comments, it says about the charities that I chose. And they were DOTS, which is Dogs on the Street, which is a phenomenal charity that helps homeless people's dogs with vet bills and all sorts of stuff. I think I picked Ronald McDonald House Trust. I picked Click Sergeant, which is a phenomenal cancer charity. And there was one more. What was my last one? I can't remember. They were all really, it was Women's Aid, because a lot of women were being locked down in houses with men that weren't particularly nice. And I thought it must be horrendous.
Situation that would already be unbearable. We made even more so during lockdown.
How hard I found it. And I live on a farm, you know what I mean, with loads of space. How my mental health suffered, I can't imagine how awful it is for someone who's being bullied or being hurt. It's just unbelievable thoughts. So I hope it did its job, and I hope people enjoyed the video. And it was something to take our mind off things. You know, there's so much doom and gloom. It was a week of stress for me, but it was also something that I really enjoyed doing.
Yeah, and it turned out perfect. Is it just the end bit you sang on?
I sang on a call, yeah. It was so amazing when his wife emailed me, and she replied to my email and just said Paul would love to do it. And then
and the video turned out great, didn't it?
Yeah, the video was really good. And I just to work with him was just amazing. And in an interview, in a quote after, he called me a friend, and I just remember just thinking, wow. That's amazing. So cool.
Yeah. Well, so you've been keeping busy, you've been recording, you've obviously done a charity single we discussed. You're also teaching singing lessons via Zoom, which is something I just learned about recently. Have you started doing that already?
I have started. I've started.
How's that going?
Really well. I was actually inspired by Danny because he's just so inspirational. But apart from that, he's like the guitar teacher virtuoso. Like every time I speak to Danny, he's like, "I'll call you back in 10 minutes. I'm teaching a lesson." Like every day. So
that's great.
It's really good.
Keeps you out of trouble.
You don't have to leave home. Don't even have to put your pants on. You know what I mean? It's really easy. So I thought, yeah, I'll give that a go. And I've got about 20 students now. And they're all doing really well. Always up for teaching new people. But yeah, it's just been fun, and it's stopped me going insane. It also helps me sing because I'm teaching them, so I can be singing for 4 hours a day, which I don't do at the minute. Obviously, in lockdown, I've basically been just drinking gin and looking after animals. That's pretty much the whole.
You've got lots of animals, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're lovely, lovely animals. Yes. When I think of you, I think of alpacas. Strangely.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Question for Danny. Danny, are you endorsed endorsed by Fudge? This is what I would like to know. Because last time we spoke, you were telling me about your Fudge endorsement, the hair care brand.
Yeah, me and Nathan got a little package from them before we hit Stone Death.
Is Nathan also endorsed by them now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Look.
Yeah, we both got that at the same time. Yeah.
Right.
However, as there's been no shows, we've not had a reason to hit them up and receive more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure if we start touring again, hit them up, they'll send us some more stuff out. But yeah, there's
maybe you could put in a good word for me, because I would like to be endorsed. I could do with some free hair colour.
I see.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
I think Dan was after some as well, Danny, if we want to sort him out.
Yeah, I'll drop him
What are
in.
you after? What's that?
Yeah, no, they told me to fuck off.
Fair enough.
Surely not. Right, well, got another question to ask you, and it's about touring. I want you to tell me about your dream tour. Now, imagine you're supporting a headline act, even though I know you, of course, headline yourself. So I want you to tell me who your dream headliner would be for you to support, and who would be supporting you if you could choose second support act. So, I don't know if you want to take it in turns or give me a group decision.
Danny?
I'm going to say, for me, like, headline has got to be Guns N' Roses. Because to be able to play and just think that Slash is listening somewhere and ripping me to bits, it just makes me feel so nervous. I love it. So that's the headline. And supporting us, I guess, as there's no rules to this question, I can say unrealistic stuff as well. So I'm going to say supporting us will be Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
Brilliant.
That'd be amazing. What a gig that would be. Inglorious, Snoop Dogg and Guns N' Roses. Like, you could smash that night and you'd know, like, you know the tunes. So.
All right, Nathan, what about you then?
Mine would probably be, I'm thinking like legend status here. I really, this sounds weird. I really would love to support Lady Gaga. I saw The Darkness open for her at Twickenham, and it was amazing. She loves her rock and metal. It's very well documented. She loves rock and metal anyway.
Yeah.
She's a big fan of Judas Priest and Marilyn Manson and Maiden. So yeah, to open for someone like her, I think it'd be fun to play for a crowd like that, because her fans are so eclectic and full of energy, and they're super passionate, and I think they love the ridiculous. And yeah, I like to think I'm kind of ridiculous. So I'd say
and who would support you?
Supporting us would be, I don't know, it'd have to be someone who'd sell a load of tickets. Ed Sheeran.
Okay, Dan, what about you?
I can't stand his music. I just can't stand it.
What a gig.
I think mine would be Guns N' Roses for the dream.
Yeah.
Because they're just the biggest, aren't they? And they're amazing. Support, I think, again, you've got to go ridiculous and, you know, AC/DC or Avenged Sevenfold or something.
Avenged, yeah.
Speaking of tours, you guys going to be out next year headlining?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we've got dates penciled, which we're not going to announce yet. We're going to try and keep them to our chest just until we know what's happening with COVID-19.
Yeah. Well, 2021, Should be a great year. Fingers crossed.
Any year's going to be better than 2020, isn't it? To be fair.
Yeah, I'd say so. I don't think it could be much worse. So, but you know, we through the power of technology, we've been able to chat, and you've done your recording, so you've had a great year anyway. I think, you know, being able to put your album together and your charity single, so it's not been too bad for you.
Well, no, and I finally got to be interviewed by you.
Right. Well, wishing you all the very best, not just for the rest of lockdown, but for next year, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much. Thanks for speaking to us.
Thanks for having us.
Love to all. Take care, guys.
Have a good one. Bye.